Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we re-dive in deep into one of the most thrilling and iconic legends of Greek mythology, the tale of Theseus and the monstrous Minotaur. Get ready for a journey filled with sacrifice, bravery, cunning, and a labyrinth that will truly test the limits of your imagination. This isn't just a story. It's an epic adventure that shaped the identity of Athens and cemented Theseus as one of its greatest heroes. So, grab your snacks, settle in, and let's unravel the secrets of the Cretan labyrinth. Our story begins not with Theseus, but with a tragic curse and a powerful king. King Minos of Crete, a mighty ruler and son of Zeus himself, once prayed to Poseidon for a sign of divine favor to legitimize his reign. Poseidon, ever the dramatic god, sent a magnificent white bull, urging Minos to sacrifice it in his honor. But Minos, captivated by the bull's beauty, couldn't bring himself to do it. Instead, he substituted another bull, hoping to trick the gods. Big mistake. Poseidon, realizing the deception, was furious. And when an Olympian god is furious, things get really, really messy. As punishment, Poseidon cursed Minos' wife, Queen Pasiphae, with an unnatural and powerful lust for the beautiful white bull. Distraught and tormented, Pasiphae sought the help of the brilliant inventor and architect, Daedalus. Daedalus, in a bizarre stroke of ingenuity, constructed a hollow wooden cow, so lifelike that Pasiphae could hide inside it and mate with the bull. From this unholy union, a terrifying creature was born, the Minotaur, a beast with the head of a bull and the body of a man. This abomination was strong, fierce, and had an insatiable hunger for human flesh. King Minos, horrified and ashamed by his wife's monstrous offspring, knew he couldn't simply kill it. It was, after all, his stepson, and a result of divine punishment. So, he once again turned to Daedalus, commissioning him to build an inescapable prison for the creature. Daedalus, a master of his craft, designed the ultimate trap, the Labyrinth. This intricate maze of winding passages, dead ends, and confusing turns was so complex that once inside, escape was virtually impossible. The Minotaur was imprisoned, but its hunger remained. Now, how does Athens get involved in this nightmare? Well, before all this, there was another tragic incident involving King Minos and Athens. Minos' son, Androgeus, a celebrated athlete, visited Athens to compete in the Panathenaic Games. He was so skilled that he won every contest, sparking jealousy among the Athenian competitors. Some accounts say he was ambushed and killed by his rivals, others that he was sent by King Aegeus of Athens to fight the Marathonian bull and died in the attempt. Regardless of the exact cause, Minos held Athens responsible for his son's death. In retaliation, King Minos waged war against Athens, inflicting a devastating plague upon the city. The Athenians, desperate to end their suffering, consulted the oracle, who instructed them to appease Minos. The terrible price for peace was an annual tribute, every 9 years. Athens had to send 7 young men and 7 young women to Crete to be fed to the Minotaur in the labyrinth. Imagine the horror and despair in Athens each time this cruel tribute was due. This is where our hero, Theseus, enters the scene. Theseus was no ordinary young man. Son of King Aegeus of Athens, he was renowned for his strength, courage, and keen intellect. From a young age, he had proven himself by undertaking several dangerous labors on his journey to Athens, clearing the land of notorious bandits and monsters, establishing his reputation as a formidable hero. When the 3rd tribute ship was being prepared, with its 14 unfortunate souls, Theseus could not stand idly by. He volunteered to be one of the 7 young men, determined to put an end to this horrific tribute once and for all, even if it meant facing certain death. King Aegeus, heartbroken at the thought of losing his only son, pleaded with him not to go. But Theseus was resolute. He promised his father that if he succeeded, he would change the black sails of the ship, which traditionally signified mourning, to white sails upon his return. This way, Aegeus would know from afar that his son was safe. With a heavy heart, Aegeus agreed, and Theseus set sail for Crete, a glimmer of hope for Athens traveling with him. Upon arriving in Crete, the Athenian youths were presented to King Minos, but something unexpected happened. Minos' daughter, the beautiful and resourceful princess Ariadne, saw Theseus and was immediately smitten. Perhaps it was his heroic demeanor, his courage in the face of despair, or simply the will of the gods. Ariadne knew the labyrinth was inescapable, and she feared for Theseus's life. Torn between loyalty to her father and her love for the Athenian hero, she decided to help him. Ariadne approached Daedalus, the labyrinth's creator, and begged for his advice on how to navigate the maze. Daedalus, perhaps feeling a pang of guilt or simply intrigued by the young hero's resolve, revealed a crucial secret to her. He told her about a magical ball of thread, which could be unwound as one entered the labyrinth, marking the path back out. Ariadne, armed with this invaluable knowledge, secretly met with Theseus. She gave him the ball of thread, instructing him to tie one end to the entrance and unwind it as he ventured deeper. She also gave him a magical sword or dagger, specially enchanted to be able to pierce the Minotaur's tough hide, or at least a strong sword, knowing that the beast was a formidable opponent. With Ariadne's gifts and a heart full of courage, Theseus led the other Athenians into the terrifying labyrinth. The darkness, the twisting passages, the echoing sounds. It was a psychological torment as much as a physical one. But Theseus, ever the leader, kept the others together, his hand clutching the precious thread as they descended deeper into the unknown. The air grew heavy, the scent of beast and blood becoming more pronounced. They could hear the low growls and snorts of the Minotaur, a sound that would send shivers down anyone's spine. Finally, in the deepest, darkest heart of the labyrinth, Theseus confronted the Minotaur. It was a grotesque and horrifying sight. A hulking beast, half man, half bull, roaring with rage and hunger. The battle was fierce and brutal. The Minotaur was incredibly strong, with sharp horns and powerful hooves. Theseus, however, was agile, quick-witted, and armed with Ariadne's magical weapon. He dodged the beast's charges, parried its attacks, and sought an opening. The fight was a desperate struggle for survival, a clash between man and monster. Theseus fought with the weight of Athens on his shoulders, the lives of the 14 youths, and the hope for freedom from tribute burning within him. After a long and arduous struggle, with all his might and skill, Theseus managed to overpower the beast. He plunged his sword into the Minotaur, ending its reign of terror and bringing down the monstrous creature. The labyrinth was silent once more, save for the heavy breathing of the victorious hero. With the Minotaur slain, Theseus, remembering Ariadne's instructions, began to retrace his steps, following the thread back through the maze. He led the other Athenian youths, now filled with relief and joy, out of the labyrinth and into the light of day. Ariadne, waiting anxiously at the entrance, wept with happiness when she saw Theseus emerge, alive and triumphant. Their escape from Crete was swift. They gathered their belongings and, with Ariadne, sailed away under the cover of night. However, their journey back to Athens was not without its own tragedy. Many versions of the myth describe Theseus abandoning Ariadne on the island of Naxos. Some say he did so because the god Dionysus commanded it, wishing to marry Ariadne himself. Others claim he simply forgot her or grew tired of her. Regardless of the reason, Ariadne was left heartbroken on Naxos, only to be discovered and wed by Dionysus, elevating her to a goddess. It's a sad footnote to an otherwise heroic tale. As for Theseus and the Athenian youths, they continued their journey home. But in his haste, or perhaps overcome with joy, or even grief over Ariadne, Theseus made a fateful mistake. He forgot his promise to his father. The black sails remained on the ship. King Aegeus, watching anxiously from the cliffs of Sunion for his son's return, saw the black sails approaching. His heart sank, believing his beloved son had perished in Crete. Overwhelmed with despair, he threw himself into the sea, which from that day forward has been known as the Aegean Sea. Theseus returned to Athens a hero, having freed his people from the terrible tribute and slain the Minotaur. But his triumph was overshadowed by the tragic death of his father, a constant reminder of his oversight. He ascended to the throne of Athens, becoming a wise and just king. His reign was marked by significant reforms, including the unification of the independent communities of Attica under Athens, a process known as Cynicism, which laid the foundation for Athenian democracy. He is remembered not only for his bravery in the Labyrinth, but also for his contributions to the political and social structure of Athens. The story of Theseus and the Minotaur is more than just a thrilling adventure. It's a foundational myth for Athens, symbolizing its struggle against tyranny and its eventual rise as a powerful city-state. It celebrates bravery, ingenuity, and the triumph of human spirit over monstrous threats. It teaches us about the consequences of broken promises and the complex nature of heroism. What do you think was the most important part of Theseus's journey? Was it his courage, Ariadne's cleverness, or even Daedalus' reluctant help? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this dive into Greek mythology, please give this video a big thumbs up. Subscribe for more epic tales, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next adventure. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.